Hey guys, welcome to this video. It's the first time I actually make a vlog or podcast in English, so I hope it won't like hurt your ears as American or English or any country besides France watcher. So I try to watch my English as much as I can. So I make this video because obviously this is the end of the season. Obviously we're not making it to playoff, but that have been a crazy run, and I think it's pretty interesting as a coach to come back and try to make a summary of all the things that happened during this year, and especially for me, like as a human being, because at the end of the day, even though you guys don't see it that way, we're not just like random people doing the draft and leaving and disappearing. We have actually emotional interactions with the players. We live through our players' performances and so on, and I think it could be a good video to watch for you. So I think I'm going to go through all the big moments of this year and trying to summarize, and I'll probably make a Q&A video from the question you're going to ask at the end of this one. So the first thing is, it all started back then when I was only a caster last year, and I said it's kind of a fortunate moment where in my life both my job fired me, my girlfriend dumped me, and I couldn't find a good position as a caster to make a living in France. So I had pretty much no options, and I left to Berlin to actually find something fun to do. Right, partying in Berlin is really fun. I just met Romain Bijar that I knew. Like I met him 3 or 4 times before, maybe 5 times, but we didn't like wear also called friends, like most of people say. We just knew each other and we got along with each other. And he asked me like, "Do you want to do like I might have an opportunity for you. Do you want to be a coach?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I want to try. I want to try." I didn't plan it. It was completely spontaneous. I was just I ran out of options in my life, and I felt like this is something I can do because I've been managing people. I've been teacher in university. I've been managing people in my previous job and so on. I felt like this is league plus managing people. I can do it. Obviously, it seemed more easy than it is, and I'm going to get into this detail. So November, OpTic got the slots. It's a franchise, yeah, UP, so on. I signed my contract and I'm on board. And the first thing I want to say is thank you to all the guys that hosted me in Dallas when we arrived. Everybody from the Infinite company, especially like the top management and the guys that were here from the beginning, but OpTic J, Hector, Chris, all these guys are really insane and insanely smart, and it's really weird when you come from France, which is a small esports ecosystem, and suddenly you meet like the biggest faces of like the esports 2.0 in the Western world, and you actually like deal with them on a daily basis, and everybody looks so much more human when you meet them, and at the same time they're so impressive in the way they're able to manage all of this. And then it started, right? We arrived in Dallas, no expectations on how the American life would be with Romain. We got quite amazed because I think that Texas is a good place to land when you want to discover America. Everything is so big, everything is so cliche of how America is so like oversizing the things. And my English was not even like as good as it is right now, even though it's still completely trash. And we arrived and we had to build a team, and that's the first thing. We arrived and we really felt like we already spoke a little bit about the budget and so on, and we felt like we are heading into the transfer period with a pretty strong, like a very good upper hand, especially with in comparison to what Romain expected from his like track record in EU. And we were really quickly, I think after one day, we were already surprised by like all the prices that were thrown by, especially the agents that made the price skyrocket during the off season, and we ended up like having a very hard time, right? Because you arrive in a region that you don't know, and this is all nerves, right? There is no excuse. Like I'm not making this video to make an excuse. Just we arrived, and if I compare to Cloud9, right, Jack and all the guys that are working with him, Rupert, I think about Jonathan, all the guys that I know in Cloud9, and I miss Galen, and like so a lot of people, they know the ecosystem since years. They've been watching the Challenger Series teams, they've been watching the LCS team. I've just been a caster, I was just only watching the LCS, so I could only judge on my perspective on NA talent from the NA LCS of the previous years. And it was still pretty hard, right? Because if you don't know how the players behave, you just see the performance on stage is very skewed. So with all the bias I had, plus the fact that Romain didn't really understood, like he's really good at discussing with people, but I feel like Romain is much better. Like he's not deep in league, like technical aspects of league, so it's hard for him to actually understand the details of what makes a good player in terms of like league approach, but he can understand what in terms of work ethics and behavior, what can make a good player. So we worked a lot. I think it was very, very tough and very stressful. And we saw some crazy prices. I'm not going to disclose anything in terms of prices, but it was completely crazy, right? And the budget that we seen so big at the beginning, we're like, oh, holy shit, this is NA. We have such a big budget. We can do, like, there is so much room for activity, right? We are like, oh, what do we do with this budget? What do we do? How do we make a team that can do something and doesn't get smashed? Because maybe you, like, maybe even the all wouldn't care, but imagine, like, you leave everything you had, even though I was at the turn in my life and I had to build something new in Europe to be happy again. I could have been doing this, right? And I decided to leave everything and try this wild adventure. And having a team that lose 24/7, it just would ruin my reputation as a coach, and I wouldn't be able to do it again. Whereas, like, I really felt like it was a job that I would love, and I really wanted to do. So I don't want to go into the year having a project with, like, a team that wouldn't be able to compete against the other team. So we had to be, when you don't have the money, you have to be smarter, right? You have to be smarter, and you have to be very careful with what you do. And we eventually pulled the former roster of Zig, Cadian, Power of Evil, Arrow, and Lemonation after a lot of discussions. And we were pretty happy with the team we had back then. I think it was, like, from the discussion we had, everybody was really eager to try hard. And then the nightmare started. If it's not a nightmare, right? It's just I'm speaking here as nightmare because the spring split has been very, very tough. And we received the players. And the first thing when we received the players is we had, because the company is new, right? The company OpTic League is new. So we had to create everything, including the bank accounts, right? Even the company cards had to be created from start. You start with nothing. You start with Romain Bijard that hires me, and we get ahead of 2 men, and we have to build a thing. And in a newborn company that is Infinite, that is the parent company of OpTic, and we have to create everything. And we just see that there is so many infrastructural problems, right? We don't have a gaming house, we don't have, like, a flats or anything for the players. So we have a core idea of what we want to achieve. So we speak about the players, about the core idea. We sold them this idea. We sold them that we want to do this and this and this and this. Like, we want to separate the work environment from the life environment. We want to be able to reward them more by, like, reinforcing their image and creating a brand and so on and so on and so on, which is what most of the NA team, right? We're not geniuses, we're not reinventing the wheel, we just had a very clear idea on, like, the different steps to achieve this. And the player bought it. This is why they came. This is why they went on boards. And the first 2 months, I would say December and early January, they arrived, we went into co-working, we were in a WeWork. It was a co-working. We had to find emergency flats in downtown Santa Monica, a great place next to the beach, a lot of sun, a lot of gyms, good restaurants, fine. But what about the sports aspect, right? We were just working 24/7 in very small space, which is a WeWork, and we were doing the review on a big TV, where next to I was literally sitting on the ground trying to do the reviews of the games while the players were eating, because the place where we were doing the reviews was the place we were eating, right? And nothing was prepared. So we had in the splits, with internet problems and so on, we had to scream as Riot Games. So the place where the players prepare before the game, we screamed from there because we didn't have any choice, any shot at working or into our office for the first weeks. So we started screaming in our office with Zig, Acadian, PoE, Arrow, and Lemon. I think 5 days. So it's the 15th of January, and the season started against one of the Thieves in early January. It was the 20th, and at the same time you see, like, the announcement, and you see Sven and Miffy at TSM. You're like, oh, this team looks scary. You have one of the Thieves, like a gigantic mansion in Beverly Hills. They hire Someday. They have Afremu. They have Ryu. They have Meteos. You see, like, the team very stacked, and you have to face them, right? So you start screaming. You have to, right? You have to. And I discovered my job at the same time. And I think I got the imposter syndrome, the thing that the Canadians spoke about, where you feel like you decide instead of the others if you're good for your job, right? It's pretty much like you make this decision that you're not good for it, so you're going to pretend, right? But you lie to yourself, like you don't confident in doing your job. It's literally you be a singer and you're like, I'm a terrible singer, but I'm going to sing on stage. I felt like I'm not good. I don't know what I have to do, and I'm going to ask. But the thing is, players are players, right? They're going to establish a comfort zone around you asking as a coach. It doesn't work that way. You have to create the zone for the players to train. You have to be the one knowing what's good for the players. It doesn't mean that you are a fucking dictator. It doesn't work that way. It's more a compromise, a sweet spot, a middle ground. If you hit that way where the player see the space to grow, and you make sure that this place stay the same in the way that the player has enough time to grow. But you have to trust yourself at the beginning, and it was very hard because I was discovering my job, and there was this transition between being a caster where you criticize a lot, you make a lot of memes out of what's happening. You extract one big storyline out of the game, and you say it was the truth. Where a game it's much more complex than what you can see on the broadcast, and you have to dig deep into the details of the game, right? And at this point, I felt like there was so many things that were missing in my head, so many missing. I had the big picture, but the puzzle was incomplete somehow. And I had to discuss a lot with the players, and I think they've been very patient. But at the same time, it's really hard because even though I was making a valid point, because I was not trusting myself to the maximum, players weren't trusting myself enough. I think about, for instance, Zig. I still think to this day that if I was trusting myself more, I could have helped him much more than what I did. And I think that as a coach, I let him down. I don't think that he had the perfect approach, but I think I could have been doing more for him. And Lemon helped me a lot as well. And I think it's still like, it's not because it's the end of the year. It's still a pain in the ass for me because I'm the kind of person that gets really really attached to the people I'm working with. So letting them go at the end of the spring split was pretty hard. So we start the split, and every time we are close to the win, we have control, and we make a decisive mistake and we lose the game. And we lose. And losing was the biggest part of my spring split. It was just losing. I worked my ass off. I felt like I had very low sleep, very low quality sleep. I was giving my best to lose. It's pretty much what's happening with bad LCS teams and bad LCS team in general. It's just you don't work less. You're not chilling. You're not watching movies. You're not like at the beach like tanning. You are working. You just lose at the end of the week. You just lose and you lose and you lose, and it's not acceptable, right? You don't want to be a loser. You don't want your mates to be down. The problem is losing reinforce the thought for the players and even as a coach that you're a loser, right? And you're weak. So from being a team that was close of winning, we started being really bad, like not doing shit, like waiting to lose. And we had some wins, but eventually we didn't manage to work well enough as an org to pull enough victory to even dream about playoff. In the process, one of the big wins of this split is bringing Dokla from the academy. So the academy was in Dallas because we had a weird management. Like we decided to go for a specific approach of the academy that wasn't, I think, perfect back then. But like as an org, you have to try things. So we fly in Dokla, and because he had no room, he slept in my living room. So we just went to IKEA and we bought him a mattress, like a bed, and he was sleeping in my living room with roommate because we have a two bedroom flat plus a living room. So I got along a lot with Dokla and I spoke a lot with him. We were watching LCK a lot together, and I really feel like this guy is smart. He lacks a lot of knowledge, but he's really smart and he's really talented. And it's a big win of this year to see Dokla popping off so much in summer split. But like he was a band-aid on a bigger problem, right? Like the spring split is the bigger problem. It's the org. We didn't have the proper training process. As a coach, I wasn't prepared enough. I hired co-op at the end of the split, but we weren't prepared as a coaching staff. We didn't have anything that can create performance. Anything. And you saw it, guys. Don't get me wrong. We were pretty bad at the end of the split, and the hopes were just gone, and we had to go on holiday. But instead of going on holiday, what we did is the 7th week, the most important man probably of my coaching career came. It's the dad, Ramin's dad. He's insanely smart, and his job is to solve the problems in corporation teams, sports teams, solve problems and create performance. He's a performance coach pretty much, but not like physiological. He doesn't care about like how much caffeine you drink or how much how much sleep you have, right? He's trying to, of course, it's very important, but it's not his job. His job is to make sure that you're doing the thing you should be doing as a manager, as a top manager, as a middle manager, as an employee, and how you make sure that people can create performance. Because performance is not something like, it's not like some kind of magic. You're not a wizard when you're a coach. You're not a wizard when you're a manager. You don't hire a player and sometimes he's performing, sometimes he's performing bad. It's how you make performance consistent. And I think that thanks to this guy, Stéphane, merci. I managed to first quit this imposter syndrome and understand what was my role in this squad and what I had to do and how I should be working and working on myself to be able to work on the other people. And the second thing is he helped a lot Romain and me and Keaton to work on, like we did definitely made the Marshall plan on how we wanted the summer split to be. So week 7 of spring split, everything is already like written, everything. And we go, we fail, we lose, I get mocked so much. The 513 meme has been so much used against me, especially by the French audience, because I'm a caster. I came back, I casted the MSI and so on, even on stage was really good. And I've been mocked so much, and now I understand that for anyone who wants to work in esports that's watching this video, like no one cares. Like you shouldn't care. These people don't understand what you're doing. They can't. Even people that are praising me today because we did 9-9 and we did pretty well, they don't understand. The people that are praising Rupert for being such an amazing coach, they don't understand. The people that are praising Koma, they don't understand. And I'm not saying that because you're stupid, right? I'm not like looking down to you. You can't understand. If you're not in the team, if you're not in this room, because we are actually, I'm filming this in the review room of the LCS team, you can't understand what's going on. You don't even understand if the coach is doing a right or wrong job. You can't understand. So mocking someone for the poor record of the team he actually managed and he gave his life for, it's pretty dumb. But you know, that's internet, that's the rule. I've been doing that in the past. I understand. I got you. And I live with it, right? And I moved on. And I came back to France. And I took great holidays because I think that there wouldn't be a good second iteration without a good break in between. So working hard during the off season wasn't really relevant. So I worked on myself more. I went to Romain's dad's house in north of France, talked a lot, like for one full day with him about what I want to do, how I should work, and so on. So this guy like literally saved my life as a coach. And I came back. I came back to LA, prepared the splits, make sure that the schedule, the daily schedule, was written in Google Documents 4 weeks or 5 weeks before even the players came back from holiday. Then came back for MSI. Was an amazing MSI. I was able to talk to a lot of people. I think it was good to come back to my caster because it's still part of me that I really love and I miss every time I leave for LA, even though I think a coach is much more fulfilling than caster. And here we are. We started the summer splits, and I think like most of you guys are interested about the summer splits. So we start back. I send the players to Korea. I don't go, obviously. I don't care about like looking at them playing solo queue every day. I could maybe make a small difference, but I'm pretty sure that as a team binding, not having any figure of authority for them was really good. Big joints. I'm going to speak a lot about Terry in this video. I think he deserves a lot. Terry joins, Dokla stays, and we bring up the academy, and we remove quite a lot. So I just want to say that to Andy Bandy, Winter, Kadir, that have been really good time working with them, and I apologize that it didn't work out because I always feel like I still speak to Winter, and he's really genuinely nice guy. I really like him, and we just bring a new academy. So Prismo, it was Prismo at the beginning, but he had an issue, so he couldn't start. So we just took Eclipse, Gate, Palafox, who I was working at Scouting Grounds that I really like, Fnatic that I met at Scouting Grounds as well, and Alorim that was in the EcoFox Academy, and these guys. So 5 of them are in Korea training hard, and the others are just arriving, and then we all gather. And then you have your first speech as a coach. This very first speech. This one is very important because you're going to define the baselines of what the split will look like. But in the meantime, we got the new office that you saw probably in the Blitz video. We had like good food schedule. We had good media schedule. Like we had everything that we needed to actually be the brand we want. Like not the brand, but the sports org we wanted to be. And day one, I made this speech about like how to, like we're going to be tough. We want to win, right? We have high expectation. I don't think that anyone in this room wants to be a loser, and me included. And we started the split. And the first thing I was amazed by was how much Big was making a difference. I think this guy, I don't understand why people came to me asking me, like journalists, why did you pick Big? This guy is bad. This guy is amazing. This guy is amazing. Is he the best support in the West? Probably not. He needs more experience and so on. But he is amazing. So Arrow and Big get along with each other, smash the lanes, PoE, insane player, Acadians popping off, coming back from Korea, even though there was changes in the jungler. Douglas playing really well. First 2-3 weeks of scrims, beat everyone. We beat absolutely everyone. The only team we didn't scream was Team Liquid, but every team we were screaming, we were like hard winning against them. So we are very confident. We are like, we have a good grasp on the meta. All these changes didn't affect us. Everybody thinks we're going to be weak with the new changes. And we are like fixing all the problems, honeymoon. And then we go on stage. We go on stage and we play the first match against Golden Guardians. And to be honest, there was a very low chance that we will lose this one. Because we prepared it really well. We knew the drafts. We knew our strength. We knew their weaknesses. We just came in the game knowing exactly, and we beat them. And the second match is against Cloud9, the bad Cloud9, the benching Cloud9, the Cloud9 where everybody was mocking and know that everybody is actually, like praising so much. I think it's too polarized. You should always try to find a sweet spot. And we're in the draft, and I'm really mad about this one. Because I'm saying, like, don't ban Irelia now. We have a strategy against this. No. And Acadian is like, oh, okay, ban Irelia. Wasn't listening. And he bans Irelia. And my first reaction, stupid reaction, I'm a terrible coach at this moment. I'm like, fuck you, Matt. Listen to me. Fuck it. I don't know what to do now, right? I had to improvise my draft. The thing is, you are the referee. You hear a misban. I didn't know. You could say, do you need a redraft? Referee, they're behind us, right? I don't want to blame them. It's on me, it's on my team. But they could say, you have a redraft if you want. I would immediately press the redraft button because I had a strategy. But no one said it, and I knew after the game. So I come with a shitty draft, terrible draft, and we lose. And we lose, it's on me. So instead of being the team that goes 2-0 and 2-0 and 2-0 and like leverage on the preparation, we had directly a stop at the end of the first week. And then we go in the second week, and it's going pretty well. And we end up against Cofox. We win using Kai'Sa funnel. Well, it's pretty damn good, right? The Kai'Sa funnel, we pulled it really, really well against a team that looked really, really strong back then. Cofox, after early summer split, was really strong. One of the best teams we faced actually during the preparation. And the next day, there is this excellent, I think it was FlyQuest, excellent draft phase from FlyQuest. Like Senvicious worked a lot on us and pulled a really, really good draft phase, and we are surprised. But my players were 10K ahead, and I saw the first prime as a coach, and I'm really happy that I eventually became able to overcome it. Was the FlyQuest game where we were 10K ahead with the Talon, and we eventually lost it because my players were rushing the thing. But it was a second stop, right? So instead of being, we should have been 4-0 because we are fucking confident, we are 2-2. And then the nightmare starts with, we think funnel is really strong. We felt like if we go funnel and we play it perfectly, we're going to win no matter what. So we bring gate because if you see with funnel, you play with supports. But we don't bring gate like on Tuesday and work on funnel from Tuesday to one Friday. We bring gate at the end. We bring gate on end of Thursday. And we're like, oh, playing with a support is better. End of Thursday. So we only swim on Friday with gate. Felt pretty strong, won most of our games. And then we head into LCS on Saturday against CLG. And we get fucked. But not only we get fucked is we had the Tristana funnel with PoE, first time Tristana on stage, and he was playing pretty damn good. And I think we could have won this game. But the first thing I saw in this game, and he should have like awakened my senses, like my sixth sense, like coach senses of my team when they play funnel, they're just apes, right? They just feel like they don't have responsibility and PO is going to carry because he's funnel. So their macro was disgusting and they just made wrong lane assignments, like very basic shit that if you don't do this, you can't even win a game. Like it's 0% win chance. And the next day we stick to it, right? You're not going to change the whole strategy. So we go and we lose again against one of the thieves. So now we are 2-4. And this is the same thing at the spring split. We are close of winning, but you lost, so you start feeling like you're bad. So we give up on funnel, right? It didn't work, we're not going to be stubborn. We come back. And then this is the Reef Rivals, if I remember well. No, it's not the Reef Rivals. We have 1 week of losses. And then we come back to the next week. I don't remember the games. I think it was Clutch and something else. And we obviously see that we lost everything that made us strong was gone against any team in scrims. We lost our macro. We lost our essence as a team because we did funnel and funnel bias completely the way you're playing. It removed from the side laners the responsibility. It removed from the jungler the actual tracking, and you're just playing monkey. You just play to kill and to get resources on the map. The only one who has to think is the mid laner, pretty much, not the gate that gets funneled if it's not the mid laner. So we are terrible. We are really playing terrible. I was super mad. I got really annoyed by like the behavior of the players. They got mad at me because I got annoyed. Not productive week. We end up by a 0-2. So now we are 2-6. Here we are, guys. 2-6. You feel like we're a bad team. I knew it. When you start losing in LCS, even though it's BO1, players start to be discouraged and they start thinking they're bad. And I keep telling, we're not a bad team. We're not a bad team. But in scrims, it was a Reef Rival week. We went 4-30. 4 wins, 30 losses. 30 losses. 30 game of 40 from 20 to 40 minutes lost. It was literally go in the game, and I didn't even know why we were losing. I didn't even know. But we lost. But we lost so much that losing didn't count anymore. We lost in LCS game that we should have won. We lost because we made the poor choice of going for the funneling. We lost in scrims. We lost everywhere. We were pure losers. Everybody was starting making fun of us. So the only thing you can do at this point is just climb again. It was the bottom of the summer split. And then we started winning a little bit more. But the thing is, every single step you're taking forward, it's like when you go to the hospital for some medical reason, and the first time you can actually walk outside. Every step is not good, it's great. Every win, every small win, every Baron we got, every division we got, I felt insanely great as a coach. And the player was feeling happy. They were losing the game, I was like, yeah, but our vision was on point. So that's good. Next game, if we have the same vision and with this and that, we're going to win. So they have a winner mentality, right? And then we head up to the week, and I think that I made a pretty good speech to the players about like pleasure and so on before the game. And instead of focusing on the game, I tried to focus much more on their emotions and how they approach the game and why they're playing the game as players, because I think that this is the biggest drive. And it worked out. I felt really happy at the end of this game when they won. I don't remember. I think it was the TSM game. And we bounced back. So we went and we started winning. So I don't remember exactly the track, but I was looking after this win to the calendar, and I saw that we could win the 6 games. The 6 next games, we can go 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and then we'll have a chance to make it to playoff. And we did the first 2-0, and then we do the second 2-0. And then we do the win against, so we win against FlyQuest. It was pretty hard. We shouldn't have won this game. FlyQuest played much better than us, but we kind of base raced them. It was pretty good. And then we faced Clutch. And Clutch is not a good team. Clutch is last. We should win. It was the easiest among all of them. And winning against Clutch was like then we were like just 1 win or 2 wins away of playoffs. At this time, some players were really like stressed / inexperienced / pissed by other people's mistakes. And as an org, and especially as a coaching staff, it's pretty hard because it's not in the money time that you fix people. They're not going to change their whole mistakes and their whole process of training just like this, So you have to deal with it. You have to find a way. But the thing is, everybody's trying to see how they can how they can improve. So Dokla would like to play more these things. Cadian thinks that he should play carries in the jungle. But for instance, Pui would like to have more maybe tanks top lane and tanks in jungle because he thinks that having more CC allows him to carry. And at the same time, you have all these problems with the bot lane. Do you want this jungler, this support? Do you want to engage from Terry? Do you want to engage from Dokla? Do you want to engage from Acadian? And you have to find a balance, the thing that make it work. But we didn't find this clutch game was poorly executed, and I really feel like at this game the players went compliant. They went compliant by lack of experience. They don't understand that this is the most important is to win the easy games. No one's going to blame you because you lost against TSM on the decisive match because TSM has 5 experienced players or 4 experienced players and you only have 1 or 2. But the day you're facing a last place clutch that has showing a lot of weaknesses and you don't accept to engage at any point, to do anything, and you let them win, this one felt really, really bad. And at this point, I felt like our chances to go to playoff are not compromised, but it's going to be very hard. And we kept working on a daily basis, really, really hard. I was blaming the same mistakes every day, same mistakes. I wrote them on the whiteboard, 3 common mistakes, the 3 mistakes that we always did, always in scrims. And we never did them on stage. And that proves something. If your team is doing the same mistakes all over again in scrims, but not on stage, it means that they are compliant in scrims. It means that they don't take it as serious as on stage. They're not careful enough. They want to try things, they make gamble. And that just harms the training process. And I always think that the win on stage is just the side effect of the good training process, plus a little bit of luck and experience, but the most important is the training. And I felt like, they started being compliant after winning so much, after losing so much. Losing so much and winning so much made them compliant. And till the moment it was a do or die. And then there is so much pressure. And it leads us to the TSM game where our bot lane get destroyed by Sven Miffy, and it's not even close. But after the game, I just came to Big, and I'm like, why didn't you call the jungler? It's like, I didn't know. Yes, that's true. I should have called the jungler. I'm like, yeah, you call the jungler, he ganks, or he outpush you, you bag, or you make something on the map. That's basic. You can't win your lane, you just call the jungler. Why don't you do it? And he was paralyzed, and I felt like, yeah, it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be hard. We lost against TSM. It was a do or die. It was last week, but it's not on us anymore. And what's next is just we go against 100 Thieves. We win for once. We're not 0-4 against 100 Thieves. I was pretty happy. We explode in joy. We're so happy, and eventually we don't make it, and we just go on holiday with 9-9 historical record. So overall, I'd say that. As a coach, I failed in early season to make the right choice, drafts, and probably the funnel thing was not the right thing. Maybe we overestimated because we are so happy from the wins against Echo Fox. I think there was some mistake here and there, but overall it's pretty satisfying split. Not because of the results, because obviously I think we should have performed pretty well in quarterfinals. Looking at back then, because I'm actually filming this video after the quarterfinals, and I think whether it's TSM won, right? So they got in playoff and they got in semifinals. But I feel like we would have a chance. We have had a chance to actually show a good performance as well in quarterfinals. But we will never know. I'm really sad for PoE and especially for PoE because he's a guy that rarely misses playoff. I'm really sad for Acadian, Dokla, and Big because they really want to make their first appearance playoff. And I feel like even though I tried my hardest, everybody makes mistakes, right? I really want to give them this chance. And obviously I feel bad for Arrow because he's insane and I wasn't able to create maybe be decisive the moment I should have been decisive in my coaching, for them to be decisive on stage. So overall, now that everything has been phrased this whole year, what's the summary of it? Is it positive? Is it negative? I think I think you have to look you have to look at the wins and the losses in different aspects, right? You can't just praise it was a 5-30 no playoff and a 9-9 no playoff, because it's too limited approach. If you compare with the beginning of this video where I say that I literally fly in with Remain with nothing. So right now, what we managed to do, what are our big success as an org, first as an org. We build one of the best facility in NALCS. We build a very good company culture. I'm really proud of everybody working. We built a team that was pretty successful, even though we didn't make it to playoff. I think we like the playoff ghost in this one. We have something to leverage on for the next year, and I think it's really important because this was the hardest to create actually as an org. As a coach, I think I learned way too much for 1 year. I like my person changed completely, and I'm grateful for that. I can't thank enough all the people that worked with me this year, because I feel like nothing would have been possible for me alone, and this is one of the hardest things I've done in my life. So even though we lost, I still think that just being a survivor from this NA Coach Hunger game is a big win. And for the players, I still think that for most of them, they develop a lot of skills. You saw the paper from Acadian. I'm really proud of what he achieved to do. He has a lot of space to grow still. I think he has to have a better approach of the game, and he's too volatile in the way he sees the game. I'm so happy for Dokla. When people ping me and say Dokla is the best top laner in NA, I'm like, man, give him time, just give him time, you know. He's young, he's going to have like some flaws, you know, but at least seeing this guy happy, winning and being able to be the decisive moon is every solo queue player wet dream, and I'm happy that he was able to go through this. I'm obviously slightly less happy for Arrow and PoE because they are experienced. Arrow went to LCK final, PoE went to World Quarterfinals. Offering them this is not enough, obviously, but we can always do better. We try to do better. We always try to like get rid of the past and look at the future. But obviously, I think it was not satisfying for them. I'm really happy for Terry. As I said, this guy is the plant that only needs, you know, it just need water, and his water is just confidence. I trust him. Like I would bet money on Terry being good in any game, and I felt like it was such a good addition to the team. And this guy he's so underlooked. He's so underlooked. I'm really happy to work with him. So overall, I think it's not a big W or a big L for the team. It's much more like a medium outcome. If I'm satisfied with this, it means that I'm mediocre. I'm compliant with like being average, which is not something I like. This idea like frightened me. So obviously I'm not satisfied with the result, and I don't want to apologize to the OpTic fans because I feel like I gave my best shot, and I don't think we should apologize for losing because when we beat when we beat another team and they apologize, it's like they didn't do the job to beat us, meaning that they're just naturally better than us. And I think that it's not because you're not the best team that you're not a good team, right? So we did our job. I don't want to go into this big apologize situation. I think it's much more not accepting it and bouncing back is more important for next year. So that's it. That's this year. Let's wrap up the year. It's just, as an org, I think it's a big win because we built something that's going to last long. We created the culture, and just having the feedback from most of the players I had saying that they had a blast working with us during the summer split is one of the most fulfilling feeling that you can have. Then just need the results, right? You're going to tell me, yeah, but in the end, if there is no result, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's true, especially as a coach, right? As a coach, the only thing that you're rated on is your results. Like the process, no one cares, right? I could literally like sleep next to the review room and don't do the review. If my players are like 18-0, everybody's going to say that I'm a great coach because I'm doing what I should be doing. It's let them win. But it doesn't work that way, right? It's much more complex than that. And I have to be satisfied with what I can. You can't ask a human being to be just looking at what you guys look and not at the big picture, because my big picture has been much more than just coaching 5 players for 9 weeks, twice in a row during this year. It's having it's just meeting Romain to and discovering that this guy is insane to actually building one of the most, I think, robust structure in NALCS right now. So no, it's up to us. Like the future is ours. I think that there is so many questions and things that maybe you guys would like to ask about how a coach must be feeling and so on. Overall, I can say that I'm fucking stressed. I think I lost a little bit of like lifespan being that stressed. I have some health issues that I just like didn't look. I just look over them. Like I've just postponed all the medical exams and so on to be able to finish my splits. I felt like it's a very painful job. It's extremely rewarding, but it's very painful at the same time, and I think that you guys should give props to any coach in esports because it's a changing game work. It's not like football. Like in soccer, you're a coach, you know the game, you change player, right? But here the game is changing, so meaning that the player that can be great can be trashed the next day, right? Take a player like Impact, he's great, right? And the next day it's only carry stuff, it's pretty bad. And like Impact, how do you do? What do you do as a coach? Like you didn't do bad. It's not even your decision. No, nothing's bad. It's just what it is, right? And you have to accept it. So yeah, overall, a pretty good year. Maybe the best year of my life. Probably one of the hardest though. I don't think it's a job made for anyone. You need to be extremely resilient and stubborn, kind of, in creating your own path. Like many other jobs, right? I'm not isolated. I think player is a pretty hard job as well, but at least they're playing. So this is what they told me each time. It's like, you must be very stressed. I'm like, yeah, I'm stressed. And like, yeah, we are stressed as well, but we are playing. So while we're playing, we don't really think about what's going on, which is actually true. And I like them to think more about what's going on when they play. Beside that, maybe I want to just make a big thank you to so the whole OpTic squad, from the top management to the bottom, like even the intern that is just did 2 tweets during this year is still very valuable for us just to have interaction with the fans. I want to thank Riot Games for making for fixing the hell they made. I'm not going to thank you for what you guys did during in terms of patch this year. I think it's really good that you guys understood that it's just harming, but I already phrased it. It was definitely a punishment to work this year. Like I felt like League of Legends has been our enemy the whole year, and it should never be the case because we are, as much as you guys like esports and so on, we are making a living out of your game. Your game is our life. So if you make it that volatile, our life is too volatile. It's not mentally healthy, and I think you should guys consider this when you're making changes, even though it's maybe slightly less attractive for the casuals. I want to make a big props to my players, all of them, from Scouting Ground to now. You helped me growing as a person, and I feel it's very important. That's the most important thing in any experience, right? This is the only thing that's left. That's the leftover of every experience. The only thing that left over of the experience is you. Next day you wake up and there is only you, right? Even if you get fired, even if you go to Worlds, even if you win Worlds, like ask the guys from Dota, like OG that just won. They woke up the next day, it's only them, right? You can't share what you got. You can't share. This is personal. So I want to thank them. You have been a pain in the ass quite a lot, and you have been my biggest success. When you guys managed to do things that you couldn't think being able to, and I think it makes the life of a coach meaningful. So yeah, I really want to thank them. Yeah, I think that they don't know how much like I can love them as people and as players, and I think it's true, right? It's a I would say fatherly feeling, right? You really. It's the kind of father feeling. You really like them as your children, and you really wish them the best. So no matter what's going to happen, because the transfer season is always like wild, especially in NA. So I don't wanna say any forecast or anything. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to say that any player that worked with me this year, I want to be extremely thankful toward them, and I love you guys all, and I wish you the best. Like leave the Summoner Trophy. You all deserve it. So yeah, that's it. So it ends up this podcast. I know it was pretty long. It was in English. It was painful. Maybe slightly hard to understand. I try to do more. Ask questions, please ask questions. It's so important. I had to structure my whole year like in my head. So obviously there is so many missing parts that you'd like maybe to know about. I'd be more than happy to actually, before I leave for Korea and holiday, to make a second video answering your questions. But yeah, you need to ask them. So don't be afraid. I'm not going to give you like the contract clause of Faker, obviously, because this is confidential and I actually don't know it. But if it's something I can answer, I definitely answer, because transparency toward the fans is something I really value. So thanks again for watching this, and see you guys in the comments, and don't hesitate to share. Bye bye.